What up? It's your boy, the Incredible Man, and yes, I am back at it again. And this is my discussion/review for New Amsterdam Season 2, Episode 12, man. And yes, it was another wonderful episode. And I apologize for being late. I felt a little under the weather, so I had to drop it on Thursday, and I'm sorry. But it was another great episode. And before I dive into the discussion, I'm going to bring up the religion aspect. For me, yes, I am a Christian, and I believe in the power of prayer and everything, man. But I never I never bring up any of that on my channel because I don't want to push my religion off onto anyone or anything like that. So I don't bring that onto this channel. But since they brought it up in this episode, I felt like it was only right for me to talk about it. And it's going to be very brief, and then we're going to dive into the episode. Yeah, it was good. I felt like they found a happy medium in this episode when it came with the whole religion aspect of it, because I felt like they dove deep in enough, just enough to where like they wouldn't offend anybody that was religious or upset anyone that isn't religious. I felt like they were in a nice happy medium. And I mean, I know some Christians may not like it, but I felt like in today's society, man, it is what it is. So, I mean, they kind of have to do that. This is a TV show. This isn't a church or anything like that or an outreach program. This is a TV show. So they kind of have to find a happy medium in between, you know, like for the people that are religious and for the people that's not religious. And I think they handled that very, very well. And it was done very nicely, in my opinion. And I honestly loved the way that they did it. So no one's too offended and no one's upset about anything. So I just thought it was nice. And we also got to see Max praying at the end. You know, and a lot of people may tell you, you know, you have to pop in there and be like, oh, our Father, our great Heavenly Father sitting on the throne. And, you know, you don't have to do all that, man. Prayer is just an open conversation with you and God, man. And I feel like that they handled that very nicely, even for someone like Max, you know, because he stated that he's not religious or anything like that. And we saw him dealing with all of that through this episode. And it's just a conversation between you and God, man. And in that intimate time between you and him. But now I'm done. That's it. I don't want to do anything about it anymore. So let's dive right to the episode, man. First off, I was so excited to see a young, happy, and vibrant VJ with his wife, with his head full of hair, and it was nice to see that VJ. And we see him constantly visiting this guy that's in a coma throughout the whole episode. And at the beginning, you know, it was the nice flashbacks, but then we see him doing it in present day as well. And we see the plant actually grown in size through over the years, which I think was like 14 years, I think. And what I really enjoyed was the parallels between VJ and the wife of the guy that's in the hospital. Because we know, let's be real, just recently VJ was at a point in his life to where he, all because of Ella, that he was able to let go of his wife as well. So it was nice to see VJ in that situation and telling these kids and their mother, you know, well, he's not there, and telling the kids, you know, to be there for their mother, and telling the mother that, you know, well, your husband's not there anymore and you got to kind of just let him go. So it was nice to see that this episode. We got to see a different side of VJ where he, you know, we see him now where he's let go of his wife. He still loves her and everything, but he's moved on. And it was nice to see that parallel between VJ and this wife of the guy that's in the hospital. So it was very, very nice. Then we have Blum this whole episode with the IT guys just messing up the computers and for some reason, and Blum is like all kinds of upset. And it was nice to see that they were able to treat the patients without having the monitors. They had to do it old school with pen and paper and write down everything, and it was nice to see all of them do that. But it was the most wonderful moment. What came to me was when the guy came in from the L train, and that like he works on the L train, and that she was making this huge monologue about, you know, we don't need the monitors, we need to be more face to face with our patients. And it's like, it doesn't matter what's happening, you can write it down on pen and paper and everything about the prescriptions and everything. And the dude comes in and he tells her, okay, sir, what is your name? This man had the most complicated name ever. And she was like, is that with an A or E? I was in there like, all right, I'm gonna call you Bob, okay, Bob, until we can get you situated, and then I'll just come over and write your real name down on paper, because it is crazy. I'm not trying to spell that. So, and then it was nice at the very ending of this episode to see that The dude finally had the computers fixed because he has to be the worst IT person. They need to hire somebody else completely. But it was nice to see at the very ending of the episode, we see Bloom telling him, "Don't worry about it. Everybody seems to be working well with the pen and paper aspect of not having the monitors and everything." So she was like, "I don't want to ruin anything, so we're just going to keep going and keep riding this wave." So it was nice for Bloom to see that, and I felt like it's very nice to have that, because now they really wasn't focusing on the monitors. They could really be there and present with their patients. Then we have the lady that came in, and she's obese and she had the flaps on her arms. Man. I was gonna say something about it, but finishing the episode, I felt like, it's not even about self-love or anything. She kind of really loved herself, but she was just so traumatized by losing the weight and having those extra flaps on her arms. And we see Iggy and Sharp finally got her some help, and they lied, but they got her the help that she needed, because the doctors gave her this medicine to help her lose weight, but they didn't really fully cure her, like Iggy said. And I'm glad that they treated her at the end, and she was finally happy towards the end of this episode. Then we have Iggy this episode. Iggy was in a different mind this episode. We knew from the past couple episodes that he's been, I don't know, maybe he's not feeling narcissistic. I don't think that's narcissist. Narcissism is anyway narcissistic. Narcissism. But now I think he's gorging himself on food now to cope with maybe everything that's going on with him and his husband and everything. He's gorging himself on food because he's eating now. He's putting up a nice front because he threw the cupcakes away in front of his assistant. Well, not his assistant, but the lady that helps him with the psych department when she was there. But then he goes out and gets more cupcakes, and he's just eating them in the stairwell. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Iggy, he's got like a eating disorder now, or he's just trying out all these different disorders. I don't know what's going on with Iggy, but I think Iggy has a real problem, and is going to come back to bite him in some of the later halves of this episode, this season. And I'm really, really worried about Iggy, man. Anyway, I'm going to tie Reynolds and Max's whole little thing in there together. So they get a case about this kid vaping, and then they try these new all experimental procedures and everything, and next thing you know, the kid's lungs collapse and everything. And at that moment is also when the prayer circle left the hospital. So Max wants to hunt them down and everything, and that's how he got on to talking to the priest. The preacher. That's how he got on to, no, the minister. Either way, that's how he got onto the concept of praying. And, maybe he kind of felt a little down, probably because, him losing Georgia, his sister dying, and, that's just something totally different. But like Reynolds said, man, Max prayed, the kid got better, and I'm always open to a wonderful miracle, man. A miracle is something that's wonderful, and you can't explain miracles with science. That's why they're miracles. So it was nice to see that everybody got a happy ending. Even the woman, that let her husband go, she finally reconnected with her kids. So that wraps up that. Then we have Reynolds, him and his girlfriend having this whole scene, and he can't tell Max. He's like, I tried. It is hard, and she tried, and everything, and so that whole little scene just got shut down as well. She was like, oh no, he's gonna be there. So it was nice to see that as well, because honestly, we knew that Max didn't want Reynolds to leave. So when she came there to try to convince Max to let Reynolds leave, and Max came in with this nice little story, like, well, with Georgia gone, I'm having this really hard time, to meet people, and I finally found this woman to make friends with Luna. So she was like, oh, that's so sad. He'll be here to take over for you. So it was nice. And then we get to the, I don't know, I can't remember this chick's name. I remember her daughter's name is Bobby. But this chick has got to go. I don't need you in here trying to build up a relationship with Max. You can be friends all day long, but not a personal lovey-dovey relationship, okay? Because I don't need you. I need him and Sharp together. And as of right now, it seems like that's not what they're pursuing. They're pursuing Max and this new chick, and I really don't want that, man. I want him and Sharp together so bad, and they're really upsetting me because they're not letting that happen. Because every episode, there's always a happy-go moment, a happy-go-lucky moment with Sharp, and then like something sad. Happy-go-lucky, then something sad, and then they kind of just find like a happy medium, and then they're friends again. So I'm really not liking that. Now, this is one of the parts that my girl Sharp is hardcore. I don't care what anybody said. These last 2 episodes were all pretty much, like they had everything else in it, but it was Sharp driven. And this episode was a nice little add-on for Sharp towards maybe like the middle and the end. Now, Castro got this whole new idea about this new cancer procedure to help all these other patients, but she only selected a couple, I think maybe like 15 people, and some of these other doctors' patients didn't get chosen. I can't talk. But when Sharp went to confront her, and she didn't go to confront her. I mean, she went to talk to her about it and was asking how all these. Yeah, Sharp, I understand what you're doing. And I know Castro feels some type of way because she's threatened by Sharp for some reason. Why? Because Sharp is a better person, a better doctor. She's better overall. And I understand that, and that's why she kind of shut Sharp down. But you want to shut Sharp down? Okay, the easiest way to do that is quit letting all these other people that's in the oncology department go to her with their problems. They don't seem to like you. None of these people seem to like you, and you run the oncology department. Maybe they need to realize and let somebody else head the oncology department or give it back to Sharp, because these people don't like you, and every time they have a problem, they don't even come to the head of the oncology department. They go to Sharp. And she just shut Sharp down, but I like the way Sharp stood her ground, and she was like, okay, that's cool. She couldn't really do anything with the procedure, and then she went to talk to Max, and Max shut it down too. But I love the fact that she helped the other lady, and Sharp is still one of the goats of this show, man. And that's pretty much everything that happened in this episode. But like I said, it was very religion oriented, and I have no problem with that. But I think they handled it very well for the people that that are religious, and for the people that aren't religious. They kind of found a happy medium so they wouldn't upset anyone in between. So I'm happy, and I really enjoyed this episode, man. And I think we have a break next week. I don't think there is a new episode next week. This is your boy Nick Incredible, man. Don't forget to smash the like button so you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them, and subscribe, but only if you really want to, man. Peace out.